So I'm going to show how I wrapped my pontoon boat. You can see it's partially done. There's the rest I'm going to do today. I got this wrap from China. It's a red metallic. Looks like a candy apple color. And first thing what I did is I painted all these. I just masked this off and painted it just like a gloss gray, and then I lightly sanded it to get it smooth. These panels aren't perfect. There are some little dents and stuff in them. I wasn't too concerned about it. It's not a perfect boat skin, but it looks good from your house, so that's really what matters. I just wanted a good color on the boat, and didn't want to actually have to take the skin off and reskin it or paint it. It was just too much trouble. So, and if I don't like the color, I can just strip this off and do another color. So this vinyl comes with paper backing that you just peel away carefully. It also comes with a clear plastic over it so you don't scratch it as you're putting it on. Normally, if you're putting vinyl on like a car where you have to heat it and stretch it, you want to take this protective coating off first. But since these panels are all totally flat, I keep the protective coating on so I can smooth it out like this, get all the air bubbles out, and I don't have to worry about scratching this because this protective layer will come off. So I just use my hands and I smooth it out. It's a flat panel, so I don't have to heat it or anything. I just want to get all the air bubbles out. And if there's an air bubble, you just can peel it back off again, back to the air bubble, and then you start pushing it and smooth it out as you go. And you take the paper, peel some of the paper back, the air bubbles you can usually work out. If you can't, you just peel it back. And I get all the way to the end. Obviously, I have more vinyl here than I need, which is what you want. But I push this all the way up to there like that. Get it all the way in there. Use your fingernails or something. What I do is I got a piece of plastic. I don't have a squeegee. I just have a plastic lid from a screw container, and I shove this up in the corner like that. Make a sharp corner, and take my razor knife and I just start cutting, just using the aluminum square tubing as a guide. And I cut it all the way down like this. And get to the end. And I peel this back. And I just get to the corner on both sides. And after that, take a little putty knife. I still have the protective layer on here. So I just take my putty knife and get this vinyl up underneath that aluminum rail. You can see the protective coating that's on here, this discolored parts, and I'll show you in a minute how I peel that protective coating off. So I've already cut this, wedged it in there underneath the aluminum with the putty knife. Now I can just peel that off, and now I can take this protective coating off on this side. And see, it's just behind the aluminum there. And I just take my finger and I can push it in there, or I can take a piece of plastic like this, and I just, now the protective coating is off, I gotta be more careful with it. And so I use this plastic and I just get it in there like this. See, and I'll go all the way around. And you know, it's not 100% perfect. There's some little imperfections here and there where there's some dust or dirt or something under there. But like I said, this was my way of doing it. I do have, you can see, I do have a line across here, which is the old part of the old striping, but I'm going to put pinstripes over that, so that'll be next, and that'll hide that. And there's a dent here, you can see a small dent, but I'm not too concerned about it. This is my way of doing it. There's a lot of guys that will say, well, you're doing it wrong, you know, and a lot of vinyl guys will cringe at the thought of watching this video, but hey, it's my boat, and from the shore it's gonna look great. And so after I put the vinyl on, I put these pinstripes on here, give it some accent, and down at the bottom you can see I've got a bit of a gap down there where the railing doesn't quite fit tight up against the skin because I didn't take it apart. So I'm going to caulk that with some black painter's caulk. And the way I do that carefully is I tape it off like this with some blue tape, just so that it's exactly where I need it on both sides. A little bit of the pinstripe will be covered, and a little bit of the aluminum railing will be covered. I'll then caulk that in there real carefully, and then wipe it once with my finger, and then pull the tape off, and you'll see a nice even line there. So there's the caulk I just put in there. I'm only gonna force it in very lightly with my finger, not very much. Yes, it spreads out a little bit and it gets all over the place, but it's just on the tape. Force it in the corner. Have plenty of paper towels handy because it's going to be messy if you're not careful. So now I pull back this one, being careful not to pull off the pinstripe. And I just pull this off like this. So this is what I mean by getting straight lines in your caulk using tape. So this bottom edge over here, it's all sealed now, looks nice and straight. However, when you get to the sides, you can see right in here that there are some places where this red vinyl didn't get shoved all the way behind the aluminum rail. So the way I remedied that is I'm going to caulk that also, but I'm going to use silver or gray that looks pretty much like the aluminum here. So I'll show you on this one. I get my blue tape and I put, then when I take the tape off, just like that. And take the other side off. Throw it on the floor somewhere where it isn't gonna get caulk everywhere. And look at that. You have now a perfect, straight, even caulk line all the way up, and that is holding my vinyl down so it won't peel back, and it gives it a nice edge. That's the way to do any caulking. You can use the same system for caulking your counter backsplash or your bathroom tile or between the bathtub and a floor. Pretty much everywhere where you want to caulk something and you want a nice smooth line, use this tape. Use some kind of a tape and make your opening exactly where you want your caulk to be, and it'll look like that. Put my pinstripes on here and sealed between the vinyl and the aluminum with some gray caulking, and on the bottom I put black caulking on there, and it just finishes it off, gives it a nice look to it, and this way it'll also keep this vinyl from working its way back in. Put a nice little emblem on the side, self-explanatory.